Everyone, I'm Barbara from Fairies in My Pond, and this is going to be a quick video, and I'm going to show you how I make the wax core for my ball jointed arms. Now I've already made up one, and I'm going to make up another one, but the one that I've got here is, this is what I want to show you what can happen. I just use plastic straws, and they come in all different sizes. I even have them bigger than this, which that works out very well for the legs. Now, before I really get into this, someone did ask me, well, why don't I just leave the straws in the polymer clay? For me, I'm not against leaving the straws in it. The only thing that I am really going for is I like what the wax does to the polymer clay when it cooks it. It gives it more strength. That is just my own personal feelings with it, and that is why I like to melt it out and not use any kind of things to go inside of the polymer clay to be left. Okay, now I've already made one up, which is here. And when you make it the length of the straw, you can have some breakage with your wax. And I wanted to show you this because I had to learn myself with this. When you pour the heated wax in, you have to plug up an end. And I just take scrap polymer clay. It doesn't want to really stick to the straw, but I just take scrap and I just really put it on because I basically just want to plug up that bottom. And I will sit it on a piece of foil, and then I will pour my wax in. Now, after my wax is all cooled off, and I mean you have to really wait for this to cool off. Pop it in your freezer. It'll be so quick. Okay, now what I do is I take an X-Acto knife and I will start it. But here's the thing that I want to share with you is when you're using a large straw, really, if you've got a doll, I mean with the leg that's going to be that long, or the arm, okay, that's going to be a very large doll, but if you were going to use a piece this long, okay, I'm just going to put this out for you so that you know. Lay it down on your table. Give it a hard, firm surface. Take an X-Acto knife. Start your cut. Be very careful when you do this that you don't cut yourself. Go right down the whole straw like that. But you can get a whole piece, but I want to show you what can happen sometimes. And I can reuse this. There's pieces here that I can even use for an arm or even a leg, for a smaller doll. I can, you can just melt it over and do it again. Okay, now, how I do it is I like to make it about the size of what my doll arm's going to be. So I'm just going, and I always like to make it a little bit longer, and I will just take my straw and I will basically cut it in half. Now I'm going to take now this is what I was talking about with the clay. Plug it up with whatever you want. But I always have scrap clay laying around. And I'll just take it and see. And then the only thing I want to do is I want to make sure that it'll sit flat. Okay, so I'm heating up my wax, and I'm going to go ahead and pour it. I'm not going to do that on camera, but I'm going to go ahead and pour it in, and I'm going to put it in the freezer, and then I'm going to show you when I slice it. I poured it, and I wanted you to see how I put it on a piece of foil. And the polymer clay is on the bottom of that straw, which I'm just going to cut that off. But I wanted to show you this, that when you put it on the aluminum foil, you see how your wax will just come up, and I use it all over again. Okay, let's go ahead and take this off. And I take the polymer clay, and I won't reuse that with the wax. if you should get some in your wax, you can always pick it out when it's melted. Okay. Let me set this aside. And I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to start on this end. Now you want to be really careful with this because you do need a sharp knife. And I will just start it. Okay, and then I would just take it, work my straw, and pull it right out. And there I have my long piece. Now for my arm, since it's going to be for a ball jointed doll, I'm probably going to use just half of that, but I would have to measure it. So I would have the top part of the arm and the lower part, but I'm not going to cut it yet until I have my drawing finished and I have my measurements of what I need for her arm. But I wanted to show you that. And someone did ask me if they could use glue sticks. I'm going to put that out right now and tell you no, you will have a gooey mass. Okay, for all of you that are following me with this ball jointed doll, and if you haven't joined my Facebook page, I would love to have you. I will be posting pictures also as I'm making these videos to my Facebook, my blog, and my website. If you're not associated with Facebook, please check out my blog or my website. I will leave all three links in the bottom of the description, and I hope that I will see many of you there and get to meet some of you. That would be nice. Okay, everyone, I am going to go ahead and keep working with my ball jointed, and I'll see you in my next tutorial.